Welcome to the way it should be. I'm JD.
I'm Dean.
Yeah, Chad with us again today.
Hey, Chadwick.
What's up?
Living the dream.
Yeah,
You've been sick?
I have a little bit, so
Me too.
congested a little bit.
I've been sick. I don't know what it was, but it sucked. I wasn't happy about it.
Who's happy to be sick?
Nobody, I guess.
Nobody. So what's going on? What did you want to talk about? You said you had some stuff to talk about.
I got a couple of things I want to talk about. Some of this stuff came out a few days ago. What is today? The 10th. So it's over a week old, but still, it'd be fun to talk about. First, okay, the Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas called out Texas Governor Greg Abbott for busing migrants to.
They keep with that. I mean, it's not the first time that they've done that. They keep talking crap about that. I don't understand why they don't say, yeah, okay, well, look at our border towns.
Yeah, listen, this is what he said. He said he labeled his migrant policy. This is the guy that allows the borders to be wide open, right? This guy's in charge of that shit. He said it's a remarkable failure of governance, what Abbott's doing. Remarkable failure of governance because he's taking these illegals and he's shipping them up there to all these sanctuary cities.
What was it? Mexico just said if U.S. to give them $20 billion, they would control the immigrants.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't see that.
Mexico said if we'd pay them,
Yeah.
they would start controlling the border for us.
Shit, that's a good deal.
It's like $20 billion or something
It's
like
not. That's nothing. What's $20 billion to this? We
know.
spent $5 trillion a year.
that. It's tax season. We're about to support the rest of the world here shortly.
$20 billion is a good deal.
Was it 20 billion?
I believe. It's,
Well, I didn't hear anything about that. We're all Googling it now. Yeah, Mexican president demands $20 billion work permits for 10 million Hispanics in exchange for immigration help.
there you go.
Oh, that just came out a couple days ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I've just
Yeah.
seen it.
Interesting. Well, there's worse ideas, I guess.
Well, why not give them 20 billion and we'd be giving
What
everyone
if we
else?
said we'll give you $30 billion and no work permits? How about that?
There you go.
We're giving billions of dollars to everybody else, so
Yeah.
we'll keep the Mexicans from, not the Mexicans, but everybody else from coming up here.
Yeah, they say that they're finding Chinese and African people in these convoys that are coming up.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
whatever.
that's the thing. You got 200,000 people like a month, right, coming across the border. Okay, you don't know who any of these people are. You don't know. I mean, who's coming? You got Chinese. You probably got North Koreans. You probably got Iranians. You got all kinds of people coming across that aren't getting caught. There's some that are getting caught, but who is coming across that's not getting caught?
There was
Yeah.
even like cell phone footage a few days ago. Somebody was filming people sneaking across, and the coyote just kind of waved at the camera and walked off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like nobody's stopping him from coming. They were
No.
slipping right through the fence, and he even waved at the guy filming.
Yeah.
And I think he was filming himself from his side.
Yeah, and everything
Yeah.
the state of Texas tries to do to slow it down, the government's like, yeah, we're not going to let you do that. We're going to sue you. They try to put up a fence. No, you can't have
What
a
was it?
fence
They
up,
They put the barriers in the river.
which was a stupid idea anyway. You could just swim around the fucking
Yeah.
thing. Just
You
walk.
need to walk around.
Yeah.
But then what U.S. wanted to sue Texas for it or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's these people that are screaming open border stuff, and the Biden administration, they're all play into it. But I mean, how long is it feasible? And if you're open borders, why is it? If you're an open border, it's funny. Like the sanctuary cities that didn't ever have to deal with it, Chicago or whatever.
Yeah,
and now they're screaming about it. Like, oh, you're a sanctuary.
Yeah,
city.
the mayor of New York said they're going to sue the bus companies that are participating in this. They're looking for $708 million from these busing companies to stop them from doing that. Well, you know what? The state of Texas just buy a bunch of buses and start sending their own buses up there.
Yeah. I remember hearing the border stuff years ago because the UN is big on open borders in the world.
Oh yeah, they want to get rid of
You
the
know,
borders.
France is dealing with that because they have open border.
Yeah.
And they was a NATO or UN, one of the two, and they criticize us for having closed borders and all that.
I just saw this report where they were talking about how Germany has shifted dramatically to the right.
Well, and that's what that's supposedly that's like part of the New World Order. Is like the secret society and stuff. The UN wanting this. That's why they want open borders, so they can take over countries that they want to take over, so they can mass migrate people in there to change the politics and everything.
For sure,
of the
right?
economy of whatever country they want to take over.
Yeah.
You know what? I heard someone say it the other day, and I really hadn't thought about it. But when we were kids, you had the migrant workers, Mexican migrant workers that came up here, but they normally came up here, worked, and then went home.
Yeah.
And, you know, come up
They
here
just
for
come up for the
6
season.
months
And they'd
or
be sending
whatever.
all
and-
their money home. And then,
yeah. But now, man, I guess they're not going, the ones, well, it's not even the Mexicans that are
It's not
coming
the
over,
Mexicans
right? It's
coming up here. It's the
Hondurans. And,
Hondurans and El Salvadorians and people like that.
yeah.
Although El Salvador is probably a pretty nice place to be right now because they've locked up all the gang members.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The guy that runs that country, he calls himself, what does he say? He's like the coolest dictator in the world or some shit like that. Like he's open about being a dictator, but they went through and they arrested literally all the gang members. Anybody associated with the gangs, they put them all in prison. It's like 60,000 people.
Damn.
Locked them all up. So the homicide rate dropped and it's actually like on level with the U.S. right now or maybe even lower. It was like the third highest in the world.
What's going on with, have you heard anything on the Argentina? Speaking of,
I try to keep up with it, but I can't because I don't speak Spanish. So
Yeah.
I don't want to sit there with Google Translate.
I bought some of those, they got some of those Translate headphones.
Yeah, we talked
About that, yeah.
And they sucked because you bought the
sucked,
wrong
yeah.
ones.
Yeah, they sucked.
Well, that's what you get for buying. See, you're known for buying garbage products. You try to go the cheap route, and it always bites you in the ass.
Wow,
It's
yeah.
the old saying, buy once, cry once, bud. Spend the money up front.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Sometimes things work out better when they're cheap.
No.
It just depends on what you're, no. Like the Kraft macaroni and cheese. You can buy the Walmart stuff. It sucks. Just get the Kraft.
So what back to, yeah, I don't disagree with you on the macaroni and cheese. That's,
Just saying. Cheap.
Anyway.
Cheap is no. Get
Go-
the cheap toilet paper. No.
Oh,
Go with a
no.
bidet, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
you
Spend the
have a
money.
bidet? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a bidet?
I don't, but
Dude, you need to get one.
You're missing out.
when I was deployed, there someone's like, yeah, I need one of those.
This is the best.
Yeah.
Anybody that doesn't have a bidet is a fucking savage.
Yeah. Well, so back to the border stuff. It just seems like it can't get everything, not just the border stuff, but everything is just upside down world. Does it seem like that with y'all, with the stories you hear? And I saw a deal the other day with how much stuff the Babylon Bee has, like the goofy stuff that Babylon Bee put out as satire, but is
yeah.
coming true. It's crazy. Everything. It's just, the border stuff is just,
It's bonkers that like the Biden administration is completely unconcerned with what's going on the border.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. Is it their plan? Is there a secret plan? Let's put our conspiracy caps on here. Maybe the plan is to destroy this country with Mexicans and well, who else can I piss off? I'm just joking.
I was listening to that Martyr Made podcast.
Let me just state for the record, okay? I don't have any problem with people coming up here. Oh, I don't care where they come from, but you got to have some kind of control
Paperwork,
over the border. All right.
I was listening to that Martyr Made podcast, and which if you're interested in that whole Israel Palestine conflict and all
What a
that
good
stuff,
podcast.
great podcast. But I guess he recorded that podcast in 2015, so before this massive amounts of convoys, and yeah, there was some illegal immigration in 2015, but just not on the scale that it is now.
Yeah.
And he's talking about on there, and he actually uses the Mexican deal. You know, he kind of uses that as if what are his like if the Mexicans were coming into the U.S. and they're like saying, "Hey, this spot is ours." This we'll just say West Texas, right? West Texas is now Mexico, and we're just going to migrate people in here until it becomes it. And also, we're not going to the ones that aren't. We're not going to kind of assimilate to American culture or learn the language or anything like that. And he's using that in the to talk about how the first Zionists came into, I guess at that time, Palestine. Anyway, as he's doing that, and as I'm listening to it, I'm thinking, man, there's a lot of just kind of taking over everybody. There's what he's using as an example in 2015. I'm sure I'm gonna get some hate for that because it's not remotely the same in a lot of ways, but it is in other ways where you're just massive amounts of migration coming over, and the population getting upset with it.
Yeah.
And it's just throughout history, I guess, is what I'm like. This is not a new thing. I think so much of the media.
Because you're a white guy and you're afraid of being replaced by Hispanics. That's what it is, right?
No, that's not at all what I'm saying.
Well, I'm just saying that's what they're going to say. That's your white fragility.
Fragility?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah. That's what's coming through right now. You're afraid of
I'm
being
just saying-
replaced.
I'm just saying
that's what
all
you're afraid
throughout-
of being a minority. So you're lashing out against these people who are leaving a desperate situation to come up to here to get a better life. You are a fucking piece of shit. You know that?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not where I was going with that, but
Yeah. Well, that's where it's at.
that's God. Anyway, I'm just saying all throughout history, the media wants to act like it's whatever the case is. If it's like what you're saying, the people that are saying, hey, there's too many of them coming in, all throughout history, people have migration like that has been like, whoa, you're changing our area, our state, our whatever. So it's nothing new. That was the point I was trying to make. Anyway.
Once upon a time, a bunch of white people landed on a place called Plymouth Rock
That's right.
and kind of came in and took over.
Took over. And the
Yeah.
people that were there were like, whoa,
What the
there's
fuck?
too many of you guys coming over.
And before that, someone did that to wherever those people came from.
Yeah,
And before that, it's
It's
like
weird to see it in our lifetime, like now, like you said, but yeah, I mean that's human history.
it's all
Yeah.
Someone
I don't
took
have
over.
any issue with it whatsoever. It's just you got to have some kind of control over your borders or you don't have a country anymore.
Look at France.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean that's
There's not, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Hispanic culture. I think it's in a lot of ways, like their food is way better. Like there's a lot of things that are great about it and I love it. But at the same time, we have drug resistant tuberculosis down on the border and it's come from these countries because there's no control over who's coming over. We don't know who's sick. We don't know who's a terrorist. We don't know who is a gang member. We don't know. We got to have some idea of who's crossing these borders.
yeah.
Well, I mean, what if there's no kind of we're a true capitalist society, and these people are coming over? Is there a problem then?
Just like a stateless society or something? Or
Just
what?
something like
There's
that.
just
So there's no welfare system at all.
No, I mean, I don't know. It probably wouldn't be an issue then, but
Then they wouldn't want to come.
well, they would. They'd be looking for jobs, but for the most part, they're trying to get away from shitty countries, shithole countries, as Trump would call them, and it was 100% right. They're shithole countries, so they're trying to come up here.
Well, if America keeps going the way it is, and everybody trying to leave, going to other countries,
Yeah,
Headed to
Keep pushing up
Argentina.
to Canada, or Argentina.
yeah. I was talking to a guy
Yeah, that was a
in
bad
Oklahoma once, not too long ago. I was like, man, these fucking Californians are coming to Texas and screwing it all up, making property taxes go up and property prices are going up. And he's like, yeah, these fucking Texans are coming up here. I was like, yeah.
I've never been offended by anything in my life until the baseball MLB playoffs. Rangers were playing the Astros, and people from Houston were calling us Southern Oklahoma. That shit pissed me off. so much.
What?
I've never in my life heard DFW called Southern Oklahoma.
Southern Oklahoma?
All these assholes from like San Antonio,
Whoa.
and Houston were calling us South Oklahoma. Or
Whoa.
whatever.
See, that's how you get a north-south fight right there.
I was like, what? I've never heard that ever.
That's a good insult.
It is a good
That's a good one.
It
Because
is.
like
I was
immediately
butthurt.
I had
I was-
a lot of rage in me.
I was butthurt, yes.
Southern Oklahoma.
Oh,
Listen, we like our brothers to the north. You will be conquered one day, so don't worry about that. We're gonna get our counties back too that was stolen from us. We're gonna get them all back.
the panhandle of
all
Oklahoma.
about the Panhandle.
Yeah,
All of
the
it.
Panhandle.
'Cause of
Not
Kansas.
just Panhandle, but we're gonna get our part. portion
Colorado?
of Colorado, New Mexico. It's all coming back.
Oh,
The part that we sold off.
Republic of Texas.
We weren't. We
No, the
were
US
forced to sell it
government made us
off.
break it up.
Yeah, we were forced to do it. It's
Because
part
if
of
we
the deal.
seceded, we would have split the U.S. in half.
Pretty close.
Well, yeah.
Well,
close,
it was
close.
it
Not
was a,
fully. Yeah.
it was a condition of joining the union.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we had massive the country Republic of Texas had massive debts, and so
Yeah.
they were like, "Well, you're gonna have to give up this territory," We're like, all right. Yeah, we're gonna get it back. We're coming for you. Don't worry about it.
Colorado needs it now with some of that crazy crap going on in Colorado. I mean,
I mean, those
everything.
people still. I mean, we'll have to forcibly relocate those people.
Oh wow. Well, what else you got? What's the next topic?
Pardon me, I've been
About
sick.
these tunnels in New York.
Yeah, you're the one that knows all
Man,
about it. Tell us about these
well,
Jews building tunnels.
Yeah, what's up with? And then the city closed them off already.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they pump concrete in there. The
No
video.
shit?
Yeah,
Did they
they
really?
pump, they
I
pump
didn't know
concrete in
that.
those.
I've seen they were welding the.
Yeah, they pump concrete into a bunch of them. It's hard to see because want to know why. So I was trying to figure out why, and it's hard to determine the why. Some people are saying that it was so they could go into synagogue or shul. I guess that's what they were saying. So they could go in during COVID.
During lockdown, they could
During the lockdowns, but that doesn't make a whole lot of sense because I guess there was like some kind of a Hasidic bathhouse that was where they started at.
I say, what makes it illegal? Is it because they didn't have a permit to dig? Or
Probably so. This article says that the city inspectors were called to the Chabad or whatever it is on Monday to conduct an emergency structural inspection. There was looming concerns that the illegal tunnel could have caused damage to the famous property.
okay,
So.
yeah.
Well, and if
mean-
you did see some of the pictures of like the tunnel entrances where they had gone under cinder blocks, and it looked like they were starting to sway. In one of the pictures I saw, starting to sag. Excuse me, not sway, but just the reason behind it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because what I don't understand is if you were they wasn't like it was coming from a neighborhood or from an apartment building where a lot of Hasidic Jews lived. It was another building down the block or whatever. So it was a.
So was the
I
church
guess it was
closed because of COVID, and that's the only way in?
maybe so, but you were still having to leave and go to that bathhouse.
Yeah, just the
So
church itself. Was
so I don't understand how.
because New York was hardcore about all that lockdown, weren't they during COVID?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, they had the
they were one of
snitch
the
lines.
worst ones,
They had the snitch lines where you could call and snitch on your neighbors.
In fact, the only thing I heard like worse than that was like Australia, parts of Australia, where
They had camps set up for people that wouldn't get vaccinated.
they were like going to people's homes and arresting them.
Yeah.
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 But as far as this, I really can't tell why. It's because some reports say that it's because they were wanting wanting to expand. Well, that doesn't make sense to me unless I guess you could worship in either. And to be fair, I've also never sat in a, I guess, service. I don't guess any of us probably have. But how does having another room, and why do you need a tunnel if that was the case? If you wanted to expand.
Maybe if all the churches in New York were shut down, they were the ones that had access to their church, and everybody would start coming to their church.
Yeah, this says one local told the New York Times that the men sought to build the tunnel to hasten the expansion of the synagogue.
To hasten the expansion.
Yeah, I don't. Why,
I don't understand
why
how-
would you need a tunnel to
And
do
you
that?
cause structure damage. So
I did see where they had been in legal fights for a while now, trying to expand it.
is the time frame like legit? Was this like 2020 or like COVID, or is this more recent? Because that's why I just read or heard that it was something COVID related.
Well, I think it's just now recent that they've been found, but the
Jew
tunnels,
related.
But are the tunnels
the
older?
tunnels were started, yeah. Because they found them because people were complaints of weird noises under them. But I tell you what, especially in New York with the
Anti-Semitic.
anti-Semitic rhetoric that's kind of popping off everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Right now, it doesn't look good for you to find tunnels, like illegal tunnels.
Yeah.
Just in general, it's not a good look.
I mean, you could always make the argument that tunnel was built so they get the fuck out of there if anything went down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's true too. Yeah, just in general with everything going
If
on.
anybody in this world has cause to be a little paranoid about world events, it's probably the Jews.
Yeah, and that. Do you call it? How do you call it? Like I guess sect. That sect of Judaism, the Hasidic community.
I guess, yeah.
they're the ones that were. I mean, the way I understand it, that's a Russian, Eastern European kind of where it started or it came over from. So those people would have. They really know the how world events can turn not in your favor. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about much about Jews, so
Yeah, I don't know.
And
It's,
they run everything. So
shut up. God. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. Like I said, just in general, in the times that 5 years ago, if this were found, I don't think it would have the. It's having it would have the effect as with everything that's going on in Israel right now.
yeah.
It's not a good.
Hey, back to that $20 billion Mexico wants. One of the other things they want on there, they want the U.S. to open up dialogues with Cuba again, and
Didn't Barack Obama try to do that?
he
too?
tried to.
I
yeah.
thought
What happened there? Because I thought it
just
wasn't.
didn't-
I thought we did.
Trump
Or-
shut it back down. Yeah, yeah. Which is a shame. I mean, I know they're communists and all that shit, but come on, man. It's 90 miles from the coast. Why don't we just take it over? That's gonna go over well.
Yeah, I think they've been trying that for a while, right? Haven't they?
What's that? Take it over?
The CIA kind of maybe not directly, but take it over, but puppet state kind of thing.
I don't know. We should just. I mean, it doesn't make any. It doesn't
More
make any sense.
Conspiracies.
It doesn't make any sense to still have that. I mean, I have no beef with the Cubans. I don't give a shit. Open it up.
Who do you have beef with?
Nobody.
Yeah.
You mostly. Yeah, I said it, motherfucker. Hey, the Missouri governor, he did something I approve of.
What's that?
So they tried to do it last year. The Missouri legislature did, but they didn't get it done. I think they're going to try again. But he came out with an executive order the other day, banning the foreign adversaries from purchasing land within 10 miles of a military installation in Missouri.
Oh,
Yeah. And they put a bunch of other restrictions on there. So, like, countries like China, Russia, Iran, guys like that, North Korea, Venezuela, they can't buy any land in Missouri. Well, within 10 miles of the military installations. The state legislature wants to stop them altogether from doing it, which is fantastic. I would love to see that.
who's their opposition in that though? I don't see how.
I don't know, but it seems like a good idea to not let your farmland be sold to countries that are potential enemies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes sense to me. Same thing with your critical infrastructure. Like, so like most of the transformers and shit that we use for our electrical grid here are made in China, or the telecommunications equipment is made in China. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you buy stuff that's made in China? I mean, I get it if it's like, your cell phone or whatever, right? But why would you let your critical infrastructure be purchased from a country that is openly hostile towards you? Doesn't make any fucking sense. Even if it costs a little bit more to get it made here or from a ally, why buy it from China? Seems very short-sighted.
Everything's short-sighted. 'Cause, I mean, it's the same thing with putting the apps on your phone. People doing the some of these apps and some of the
TikTok.
not just TikTok, but even like the cheap home cameras. You download the app.
Yeah. So Amazon can spy on you.
Or China.
Yeah. Well, I want the Chinese to look into what I'm doing at the house. They're gonna love it.
Just know to come for you.
Yeah, come on. Come on with it, big boy.
Did you see? I've seen the Swedes are worried about activating their military.
Yeah, Sweden, Denmark, and
Finland.
They all told their citizens to get ready for possible military
Yeah, I've seen
conflict.
that, yeah.
Why?
Because of Russia.
Because of Russia. I think once they get done with Ukraine, they're gonna move on to them.
Do you think Russia is going to move on once they get done with the Ukraine?
I don't think they are going to attack a NATO country.
No, a lot of people.
It seems like a really bad idea on their
feel
part.
like it's just propaganda to get them hyped up for something. They
Yeah.
don't really believe it. The country's telling them to get ready, but it's probably better to be prepared than.
Yeah. Well, for
Surprised.
decades, Sweden was like, yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
They had a very minimal military,
Yeah.
very capable one, but just wasn't very big.
Is Sweden NATO?
It is. It's gonna be soon.
I
It's
thought they
gonna.
were like the neutral.
They.
No, it's Switzerland. My bad.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Sweden was
Sweden, something.
Sweden was neutral too,
Gotcha.
but they're joining NATO.
Gotcha.
They're in the process of it right now. They're
Yeah,
gonna be
does
the
it?
newest.
I mean, you look up some World War One history, World War Two, the beginnings of both of those, and it seems like just everything's kicking off the same way. You start with Russia.
Oh, dude.
Now we have the Israel stuff, and are we
Hey, and you got Germany swinging hard to the right. So
Germany swinging
and
on?
they're trying to remilitarize right now too. So what happens? They started the two wars.
Yeah, it's what just
They're the most dangerous country in history.
It was just a few years ago or a decade ago where we let them start building up the military again because we forever had where they couldn't.
It wasn't until Russia invaded,
Ukraine.
Crimea.
Ukraine that they even
Crimea.
gave a shit about it. Like their military is fucking garbage.
Well, because they weren't allowed to have a military.
Yeah, well, that was part of it, and they were also like culturally, they were against it. They
So-
just wouldn't.
Yeah, I had when I was in high school, we had foreign exchange students, and that's like a whole like part of history they don't even teach. Like they black it out. Of course they're ashamed of it.
Yeah,
They
Well,
like,
is it-
don't even teach.
Yeah, the Japanese doesn't really teach. They don't teach the Pearl Harbor stuff, right? Their history starts with us nuking them.
How about speaking of Japan and World War? Was it like a week ago or two ago? They had a firework festival, like the World Firework Festival, and they set off the world's largest firework, and it was in remembrance of us bombing them. It's like, why would you do that? And the comments, man, it was on a social media post, and the comments were just gold. It was like somebody's like the third largest explosion in Japanese history. it was pretty entertaining. It was wild, but yeah, they had some firework festival and had like the world's biggest firework go off, and it was like in remembrance of us bombing the shit out of them.
well, I mean that's something to remember. You know, don't fuck with the United States. Don't ever forget it.
Did y'all? I'm kind of behind on this story, but did you see the whole people were up in arms because Vivek Ramaswamy? I don't remember. I don't know where he was at, but he was talking about. I guess Van Jones had said some derogatory shit after him. He said in one of his speeches, "Shut the fuck up," and everybody lost. their
Vivek said
mind.
that?
Yeah. So Van Jones said that Vivek Ramaswamy. Let's see here. This is a quote from Van Jones. "This is the rise of American demagogue who's going to live 50 years longer than Trump. This is dangerous. I am shaking." And then I guess later on at a speech, Vivek's response was, "Shut the fuck up." At a certain point, just shut the fuck up. And anyway, people were saying that's not presidential or whatever, but
You know what? They can go shut the fuck up.
like, can you imagine? You said he called him American demagogue, and there was actually more to it than what this says. He said more, but I don't know. I don't think it's such a bad thing. I mean, the cussing, there's a different. It's desensitized compared to what it was when we grew up. You wouldn't have ever heard some of the stuff you hear now. But
Yeah.
at this point, I don't know. I'd like to see somebody get a little fired up when it says something. I don't know. I don't know. Vivek seems pretty good to me. The more I look about him, I don't know that he's got a chance, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he's better than Trump.
Yeah, for sure he's better than Trump.
But
Who wouldn't be?
you think Trump will pick him for a running partner or for
No.
vice?
No.
Oh, and that's the other deal. They keep saying Nikki Haley's rising in the polls.
She is, but
How? It's
I don't
got to
know.
be BS. She is
But
garbage.
if you look at the polls, I mean, it doesn't matter if she rises in the polls. She's not. None of them are anywhere near Trump. They're nowhere near Trump.
yeah.
Trump right now, he's still polling 62.1%. Haley's at 11.4. DeSantis is at 11. Ramaswamy's at 4. So I mean, the amount of lead that Trump has over any of them combine them all together, he's still stomping the shit out of them. So fuck her and her rise in the poll. I don't know.
Do you think what's Vivek? Because Vivek thinks I've heard him talk where he thinks these polls are way off and that
They
he's
are
got
way off. They're
he's
all
got
garbage.
way more. Like I think he's thinking of an upset. Initially, I thought maybe he was shooting for a VP spot.
I feel like that's what anybody in last place would be saying.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't
maybe
want
so,
close.
but this dude's throwing his own money at it.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. And he's got the money to throw at it.
I've talked to people recently who don't ordinarily follow politics, and they're liking Vivek. People that were Trump supporters.
I like Vivek
there's
as far
two
as
of 'em.
Republicans go. I don't like Donald Trump. I don't like Haley. I don't like DeSantis.
Would you vote for Trump?
No,
Trump and Biden, who do you vote for?
I'm not going to vote.
You had to vote.
Oh, they're going to put a gun to my head? I guess I'll vote for, I don't know, Joe Biden.
They're
No, I wouldn't vote. I wouldn't.
oh well.
I don't have any interest in any. Like, I probably will throw my vote away on whatever garbage candidate the LP puts up. Again.
Well, I was watching another day. I think it was on Timcast, and there were Trump supporters, and they said, if Trump, I guess there's talk about Trump having Nikki Haley as his VP.
I could see that.
And there were a couple people that were Trump supporters, and they said if it goes that way, they will not vote for Trump.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know.
I don't know what to tell you. They're all fucking garbage. But according to TikTok, what did they say? Sucking the hog of Donald Trump or something? Give him slobbing his knob or some shit like that? Yeah.
Yeah, because they watched the 60-second clip of you talking about how fucked up it is.
Yeah, they're openly trying to steal the election.
Yeah, because you're defending the fact that it doesn't matter who it is, they should be allowed on the ballot.
Yeah.
But because it's Trump, they think fucking riding Trump's nuts.
Yeah.
60 seconds of a 45-minute podcast.
Yeah, it's fucking interesting.
I asked him, I was like, hey, you seen any of our other content? We're clearly not Trump supporters.
Yeah. I just don't understand people that are. I just don't understand anybody that's so rabid about sucking the dick of any of these parties, right? How could you be how if you don't like Donald Trump, that's great, but how could you be a Biden supporter at all? How is there people out there that still support this stupid motherfucker?
Well, you know what's crazy to me? The ones that were Biden supporters, like in the run up before you won the presidency, they're silent now. And you talk to them now about, at least the ones I know, the ones down here.
Yeah.
The people that ordinarily have been like all hardcore Democrats, blue no matter who, and blah, blah, blah. They're not.
No,
I mean, they're not telling you they're going to vote for Trump, but the ones I know, they're like, yeah, man, it's bad. Biden's bad.
Well, a lot of it was, I think, of course, it wasn't that people wanted Biden, they just hated Trump so much that they voted for the opposition.
Yeah. Same thing with Clinton and Trump.
Yeah.
They didn't want Clinton. But here's what I don't understand. I don't understand anybody that still votes for Democrats and Republicans. Like they're going to, we've had the same dickheads in charge for 160 something years.
Anybody that votes a party.
And nothing is better. So why keep supporting these two asshole parties that clearly don't have your interests in mind? Yeah. It's all about power.
Well, they say
I just don't understand it. I don't understand people like that. Why are you still a Democrat? Why are you still a Republican? Why not do something different?
So speaking of staying one, even after nothing's happening, they say the African-American vote is starting to swap over.
Yeah. I mean, there's possibly a change in how the parties are, how they do things anyway. So they swap out every couple of decades.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't understand people that are still Democrats and still Republicans. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what they're thinking. Like, there's clearly better options out there. Why are we still doing this shit?
Yeah. I don't know. But who are the better options? RFK?
It's not the fucking Libertarian Party, I can tell you that much. Bunch of joke-ass motherfuckers.
Come on.
I hate them. The party is a joke.
Do you like them better than the Republicans or the Democrats?
Barely. I would like to see like parties in general banned. No parties. Just gone. And AI does everything for us.
Or AI overlords?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming.
It's fine with me.
What was another conspiracy I seen just like yesterday? It was talking about, well, what if these aren't aliens that we're seeing, like the UFOs? They're AI from, another galaxy or, whatever. Everybody goes down this little rabbit hole of what ifs. And somebody was like, what if they're like artificial intelligence, like machine, like kind of like the Matrix. I don't know if y'all seen that.
For a long time.
Yeah, whereas the machines have taken over everything.
Did you ask if we've seen The Matrix? Like one of the biggest movies of all time?
To be fair,
never know.
I saw The Matrix when I was like 12.
Yeah.
And I can't remember anything.
Well, just the fact
Other
that
than
it was
than the guy
machines
like leaning
were-
back when the bullet was fired up. That's all I
Yeah.
remember.
So anyway,
Maybe I should watch it again.
this whole like
It's not
going
that
down
good
the
of a
rabbit
movie.
hole about UFOs now. That what if they're not even biological? What if they're AI or some
I would assume that they're not biological.
because now that we're in the we were building up to our computer, our technology era, and now we're in the AI. We're starting to see more and more supposedly.
Oh,
more,
dude, it's gonna
more and
blow
more,
up.
more and more claims of UFO sightings, and they're becoming more accepted. I don't know.
What if they're not aliens, but the Jews have figured it out?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's always a thing too about if us from the future have found a way to come back, and
Well, if us from the future
they're
are coming,
humanoid. And,
why don't they fix some of the problems then?
yeah, you think you'd.
We're from the future. We're here to
The whole
help.
point of going to the past
Is make
would
things
be to
better.
intervene, right? Yeah, to change something that happened. So it doesn't make sense. While
Like
we're not-
Terminator.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Dude.
What is the oh, I can't remember that.
All right.
Anyway.
John Connor.
Huh?
John Connor.
No.
What is what?
No, I can't remember it, so move on. I can't.
Okay. All right. Moving on.
Move on to other nonsense.
What if the aliens are really here? What do you think? Do you think they're going to help us?
The White Walkers.
I mean,
They call them White Walkers. No, that's
White
Game of
Walkers.
Thrones.
White Walkers. That's
The
Game of
tall
Thrones.
whites. Tall whites. That's what they call
I
them.
mean, people claim they're already helping us. That's kind of the point of
They're helping
if
out the
they are
government.
here. You look at ancient civilizations; they all supposedly
Yeah.
weren't supposed to have had any kind of interaction with each other, yet they all had the same gods and same knowledge.
Relatively
of-
same stories like the Great Flood
Yeah.
and
Yeah, the Younger Dryas, Great Flood. Yeah.
I just listened to Graham Hancock's book about that.
Yep.
Did you listen to that
I
or
haven't
read it?
listened to
It's
but
fucking fascinating.
yeah.
Yeah.
You-
what's the name of it?
I don't remember. I'd have to look it up.
You have to send me the link. I'm gonna need a new book here for too long.
Let me see if I can find it.
It's pissing everybody off because everybody wants to what we were raised history class in high school or middle school. It questions all that, and so the Smithsonian, all them are mad and don't want. They're like, no, that's nonsense.
Yeah.
But they're wanting a date back that even the Great Pyramids are
Possibly just inherited by the Egyptians.
yeah,
Yeah.
older than the ancient Egyptians.
Yeah.
Like not 4,500 years ago, but 14,000, 15,000, 20,000 years old. Because there's evidence of water damage
Right.
from
That's all that Graham Hancock. He's talked about that quite a bit.
so he
Not
talks about
all
the
of
Younger
it, but
Dryas,
he's
which is the melting of
But
the
that
polar
fits
caps
in with his-
and that's kind of the going back to your biblical floods, and that's kind of like doing archaeology findings of proof of that really happened.
yeah. I don't know.
Fingerprints,
Damn, I got a lot of books on here.
fingerprints of the gods.
No, that wasn't
That's
it.
not it.
No.
That's the one I've heard of.
You don't have to now. You could send me the link later on.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll find it. I just listened to the damn thing a couple weeks ago.
That, and he had a book in 2015, Magicians of the Gods, talks about the Younger Dryas comet destroyed Earth time cycle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, for all those ancient civilizations to have supposedly not had any kind of contact with each other, but yet they all knew Cyrus, the star Cyrus, is where